What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are reviewing and talking about Sabrina, A Midwinter's Tale. This is a single episode, not an entire season, so I am going to do spoilers because I assume if you clicked on this video, you may have already watched the episode. If not, you can always come back once you've watched it. So usually I like to talk about the good, the bad, and then give you my score. But since we are talking spoilers, I'm just going to start at the beginning of the episode, tell you guys what I liked, what I didn't like, and if I recommend watching this episode. But of course, if you watch Season 1, you're going to want to watch this episode, and you are excited about it. And hey, we got an announcement that we are getting Season 2 in April, so that is exciting as well. If you can't tell, I am a fan of this show. I really enjoyed Season 1. Certain elements don't work, but overall, I thought the tone worked. I thought the way that they went in a different direction from what fans expected really worked. So many things I like about Sabrina, but today we are talking about A Midwinter's Tale. Let's get right into it. So taking place right after Season 1 in the present, it's a week before the winter solstice, the time when the veil between the living and the dead is at its thinnest. And they like to call it the solstice. I like to call it Christmas. Some people like to call it the holidays. Regardless, it's all one and the same when we are talking about Sabrina, and this episode started out with so many different plot points that I thought were going to go in one direction, but they ended up keeping the focus on certain elements that I found very intriguing. There are things in here that had me back into this world. It got me sucked back in because it's been a couple of months since Season 1, so they had to kind of reestablish these plot points and bring back these stories at the end of Season 1, and they did for the most part. Now, they skipped over certain things. They're leaving a lot of things for Season 2, and then some of the relationships they didn't explore as deeply, of course, leaving you on that cliffhanger because they want you to come back in April, and that is all fine and dandy. I just wanted a really cool Christmas tale. I like these one-off episodes when they come back for the holidays and they kind of celebrate the holiday, but also bring you elements that you love of the show. So I thought that aspect was really cool. And overall, Sabrina, A Midwinter's Tale was entertaining. We start off at the beginning of the episode where the kids are lining up to see Santa. A creepy-looking Santa, by the way. Not as creepy as the one at the end, but he asks, "What would you like for Christmas?" And her doppelganger, played by McKenna Grace, oh my gosh, does that girl not look just like our Sabrina? It's like they went back in time. And I love McKenna Grace, by the way. She's a fantastic little actress. So she got a bit of a cameo in here. Didn't get to say a lot. But of course, she's talking about how she just wants to see her mother again. And that, of course, sets up this episode. And the through line throughout, now I really like that element of the episode. Everything with her mother was very emotional. It's what we wanted to see since the beginning of Season 1. Some of these other plot points, such as the demon Santa Claus, while he looked cool and he was really scary, they just didn't flesh out that plot point enough for me to care as much as I did about this story element. Here's the part that got me. Susie's dream job ended up being a mall elf that takes pictures with Santa Claus. Like, that's what you've wanted to do your entire life. Listen, everyone has a weird goal. That's probably the weirdest. Then we come to Sabrina. She's sad, of course, about everything that happened with Harvey and about her mother. Aunt Zelda has adopted or stolen, abducted a baby named Letitia. She's spoiling her with solstice gifts. There are many things about many different characters that were cracking me up and had me kind of sad, especially when it came to Sabrina. So we start out the episode kind of getting back into these characters. Then we get into the seance, the thing to bring her mother back and have a conversation with her. The one thing that kind of bugged me about this is, why has Sabrina never tried this before? If this, maybe I missed it. Maybe it's just something that they can do in this time span during the winter or during what we like to call Christmas, but they like to call something else. But I just don't understand why she's never tried to talk to her mother this way. Then we get into that and we realize that her mother has basically been stuck. And the seance makes the Yule log go out, which means in come the baddies, because that's what was keeping them out of the house. They are called the Yule lads. It was really creepy when you start hearing the voices. You're like, all right, Sabrina's getting back to what we like. It's the creepy elements and the freaky looking creatures. And yes, we got some creepy elements. We see how it affects each member in the house. And then the baby gets kidnapped, and I'm sitting there like, oh, they're going really weird and really dark with this episode, and I kind of like it. And this is the part of the episode that I really liked, when they are in the house exploring things with these characters. This is always my favorite thing about Sabrina. We get to see how it's affecting Ambrose. We get to see how it's affecting both aunts. These little creepy demon creatures are running around. They're dropping knives from the ceiling, and I'm sitting there soaking up every single bit into it. So then we get to the part to where it's the fight for the baby, because the demon mother comes in and wants the baby. Aunt Zelda also wants the baby, so Diana creates this circle in the middle of the room and has them fight for the baby. The demon mom ends up getting the baby, but it wasn't really the baby. Of course, there's always a swerve here. There was a spell cast on a stuffed animal, and it turned out that she didn't actually have the child. It still belonged to Aunt Zelda, and the decision that she made at the end of the episode to return the child, I was a little disappointed because I wanted to see how that was going to play into their lives and kind of make a difference in how they treat other people and how they treat certain things. But I respect the decision to give it back because it was just kind of a part of this one-off episode. And, oh, let's give them something. Ooh, this would be a good element. I thought it was a good addition to the episode, and I thought this episode was a fun Christmas tale. Here's the thing that felt a little off to me, the demonic Santa aspect with Susie's character. Nobody realized that she was missing for a while, and the entire thing just felt a little bit shoehorned. It's like, oh, we have to have an evil Santa. What can we do? How can we incorporate this? It felt like it was just kind of thrown in at the end. And while I was entertained, I'm not going to lie to you, I was still sitting there like, I really liked what we were doing here earlier. This part just feels kind of tacked on at the end. This part could have been its own episode. Maybe a 2-part Christmas special. I would have liked that. He's making like wax people in the basement. It was really creepy, and I liked the concept behind it. It just felt kind of tacked on. And of course, they make something magical for Susie's dad to forget the entire thing ever happened, and it all just kind of goes back to normal at the end, as it always does in the world of Sabrina. Did I say normal? It's not normal, but it's as normal as you're going to get in this show. And then Diana pops up to tell Sabrina why she was in limbo, and this was a bit anticlimactic for me. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, I wanted a bit more, but it turns out she was just worrying about her daughter, and that's sweet, that's emotional. This show, as evil as it can be sometimes, and listen, I've already talked about the satanic worshiping and stuff like that. I'm a Christian, so it does make me kind of go, ooh, but it is what the show is all about. It embraces that, it never pushes it on the audience. It kind of makes a spoof of it, if you will, so I'm fine with that. But then her mom tells her what to do, and she's just standing there like, I think I understand. No, get clarification. You need a clear point because she's about to disappear, probably forever. She doesn't get it. She disappears. It was kind of sad because I wanted a longer conversation. I wanted more, but I think that's what the filmmakers were going for. They wanted to leave you on edge. They wanted to leave you with a bit of a cliffhanger, and they did accomplish that. I love the relationship between her and her mother. What we got to see anyway, or the ghost version. When you think about it, there is a lot of tragedy and loss to this show, and while they make it light and they play on it and they bring in the jokes and they bring in the fun elements, I do appreciate and respect what they're going for in that regard. Overall, I thought the episode was fun. Some things kind of lost focus a bit, but at the end of the day, I really enjoyed seeing Sabrina again, and I really enjoyed seeing this cast unite for a special Christmas episode, and I'm very excited for season 2. The show gets a bit cheesy at times, but I think that's what we love about it. We love the hokiness, we love the familiarity, and we love that they can still go dark and creep us out. Netflix can bring that element, they can bring that creepy aspect that you can't necessarily get on television, and I love that about it. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. What did you think about A Midwinter's Tale? I know I didn't go too deep, even though this is a spoiler video. I just wanted to tell you guys what I liked, what I didn't like. It's a single episode, so it's not like I could deep dive too far, and I'm sorry I didn't give a score, but I already gave a score for season 1. I don't know if this necessarily counts as a season 1 episode or a season 2 episode. I'll figure that out and get back to you guys eventually, but a very busy day remaining today. I am reviewing Roma. That will be the next video on my channel. Then Titans, the brand new episode, and my final video today will be a review for the brand new theatrical release, The Mule. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to try to review Voltron. Tomorrow evening, Aquaman. Does it sound like I'm doing too much? You know what? It's all very important to me, and I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. You are the absolute best, and I'll catch you later.
You are listening to PopX Cast, where science fiction meets pop culture.
Captain's log supplemental.
PopX Cast.